news, comedy, festivals, cultural orientation, and travel. Every Thursday, 10:10 a.m. with Frank Meke and Bade Adeniji on Mainland 98.3 FM. Sponsored by Anchor Insurance, where insurance truly works.
It's another beautiful Thursday morning. Today is the 10th day in the month of July. I don't know what friends this morning. And I was saying, look, we're already almost halfway through July. So I'm already living in August, if I can say that. But anyway, that's just my own way of thinking. I don't know how you Nigeria. It's a show that airs every Thursday morning between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. So alongside Frank Meke. It's a full house, but Frank is in the house. So when it's a full house, I think most times when it's a full house, Frank is around. So good morning to you, Frank.
But that's not fair. I always enjoy it when I'm not here. Sometimes, I allow you and the girls to do the job, and I'm grateful to you all for standing in gap. And I'm happy to be back. It's also easy moving around this country these days, but we have to do what we have to do.
It's good to have you back. Yes, how were your travels?
Interesting, really. Got to see a lot of things, because we are practically on the road. Let's put it that way. So we bring it to you as it is. That's why we're quite different from other, sources or platforms to which a lot of people listen to. So we take our time to interrogate what is happening.
Right. So also in the house this morning, I just want to hear the voices of everyone in the studio. Our girl, Oluebube Sharon James is in the house. Good morning to you.
Good morning. So nice to be back.
It's good to have you back. Even though we know that very soon again you'll be saying, okay, aren't you going to serve?
Okay, after then.
Okay. So, listeners, you will soon be hearing Blessing's voice because she's going to have a segment all her own. She's going to be telling you where you can wine and dine here in Lagos. And I can't wait for that segment to kick off. That's Blessing's voice you just heard. And we have a very important guest in the studio as well. I wouldn't want to, leave him out of these introductions, even though I still will introduce him later. But he is a special guest to us in the studio this morning, a friend of the family, definitely. Yᴏᴜᴜnᴜ is in the house. He is the CEO, Tyndall Travel itself. Good morning to all the people behind the camera, on the console. Lady Mo, good morning to you as well. And everyone who is standing by doing all the back end work for us. I tell you, these people make this show what it is. And I just want to say thank you to everybody. Odogu, thank you. Daisy, thank you for what you do behind the scenes. We thank all of you. Emmanuel, Joshua, we are grateful. Ezike, thank you so much for all that you do behind the scenes. Names was left out one or two names, but if you know, you know. Okay. King Owigiri and his to say international band bring a special bongo song. Nanim Age B Igbo. That's an Igbo phrase meaning I will not live here in the world alone, all by myself. In other words, no man is an island. This iconic song this morning is our music of the day, and it defines the search for reasons why big nations seem to oppress the poor. They seem to oppress others, and the rich people seem to oppress the poor. America, that's the United States of America, has started again, and they've gone beyond trade issues into immigrants. For those who love to spend so much time holidaying away from our beauty, there's no doubt that Nigeria remains the engine room for. Yᴏᴜᴜnᴜ is our guest today, as you've already heard from him. He is our guest on the program today, and he will be sharing a trade penetration deal connecting the month of October. Yᴏᴜᴜnᴜ is a South African to bring you good and exciting here till 11 a.m. So stay with us, please. Frank Meke is back, Nigeria Association of Tour Operators. On Monday, just this last, Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, His Excellency Ade. So we're going to be hearing more about that from AKA Tourism Untold, the creative, hospitality and tourism sectors. You want to listen and learn. Now, the rains are causing havoc everywhere. What is really as possible? Our new segment, sponsored by Sehem. So stay tuned to be able to enjoy and understand why we chose to.
A performing arts legacy representing the nation, showcasing
convergence of art, the national troupe of Nigeria, captivating every heart.
Dancers embody the rhythm of our land. Their movements are story. Their bodies command. Musicians with melodies enchanting and grand. Drama unfolds, emotions take a stand.
For children, a realm of wonder and delight. Puppets, masks.
From Nigeria's soul, a cultural embrace, National Troupe of Nigeria, showcasing our rich, versatile, and diverse cultures through dance, music, drama. Our heritage we express.
The National Troupe of Nigeria, Nigeria's cultural ambassador.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying tuned. It's still Creative Nigeria here on mainland 98.3 FM. And right away, I'm going to engage Mike. Frank, I beg your pardon. I'm going to engage Frank, who is going to tell us Ogun State. Over to you, Frank.
Let me start with, if I ever city in Nigeria, Nigeria provides its own excitement and its own culture. And so for me, Akure, whenever I think about Akure, I want to do. Despite all the talks and sharing of ideas, what is actually quite interesting is that as divine intervention. Because, as a leader, sometimes you don't have it all.
Yeah. And
you need that, usually. I think he also played some roles in the children's section. So while he puts his whole thoughts, including government support. When government supports you, what it means, everything behind that initiative. And I think it's quite exciting that government and the private sector can actually work together. Naturally, on those, Nigerians are hospitable. The point is that somebody, and you can see all the hotels we are done. Of course, we spend money. Because people have to, tickle down. You see it. In fact, there's even some Friday to tell you that, this is what you can actually take away from on this. Unfortunately, I only spent it in our road infrastructure.
I was going to ask you about that.
The road infrastructure, actually, last week, when you called, you found out that we spoke so much about that. If you want Nigerians to move around, and of course, the food to come from the hinterlands into the city, because you have to move by road, they need to fly them. And although people are building, I don't know why they are to the young person you can see. And if you are still a company that they have to pay attention. So it's not fun. It's not just going there and show lessons, and you have about 170 being late. So you know what it means and all this. So for me, season, so we're moving around to this. Our weather girl is here. I also didn't have. I saw some actually, but it was late because I was at top speed, so couldn't even start. I promised, boy, I was going to get her some celebrating New Yam Festival.
New Yam,
August and all those things. So we are getting to the period, and that's why July is flying to celebrate. And Nigeria would like celebrating good things, and that's one thing I saw in Ondo. And I believe if the governor could actually sustain that interest. And that partnership, very beautiful place, and that yet undiscovered, and takes a lot of money, to turn them around. And what we see actually begin to get. Well, I'm happy with the governor who has shown this interest, and I pray for it. The Abeokuta thing, actually, in this business we have legs everywhere, and this one has to do with our waterways ecosystem. Over time, the minister, they all agreed that we need to put a stop to this. Though there are some people are saying, is it only light jacket that will solve the problem? But the point is that over time, in the last 6 months, we've not heard about any mishap. The point is that, when you are intentional about of government to say we need to stop this, so the state governments will not take it off from there and partner, because it costs a lot of money to have good boats on water. Labs around here, because our water ecosystem is quite different. It's different, so it's an environmental factor we need to study. Of course, people throw a lot of rubbish, and a journey that would have taken us less than 45 to remove it and all those things. So, and in process of stopping, the storms can wear. And that's why we're commending the president. Of course, when he was governor in Lagos State, a lot of things are done about waterways. And we pick that from that. Today, he's at the center, and he's paying attention to that. So, Nigerians, we need to take it one by one. These things can't be solved overnight. But there almost be critics, okay, for everything you do, even when you don't provide.
Indeed.
It's very, very important. So that's what happened in Abeokuta on Tuesday, and now for Ogun State, 10 states actually be part of
highlighting
this. Highlighting it, because those are critical factors, interventions, because it creates knowledge and awareness. Okay, this life, the wise man, but as the city is let you not be giving out. In fact, I have about 3. And I think 2 yesterday, I gave like 2 smaller people who actually have something and put clothes on this, and then you get into water and that we can really develop this country. And because you don't need to be on the road all the time. Do you know that from here in Lagos, you can boat into Abeokuta without seeing the roads?
Really?
Yeah, so these are things that people don't know, and even after all these things, and an advantage that we need to take, in an intermodal, transport ecosystem. So that's what happened in Abeokuta on Tuesday. And also, I used to have a relationship with OGBC many years ago, 94, 95. Yeah. Okay, when we started for me, in terms of size. So the government of Ogun State need to expand the tourism, ecosystem in Ogun State. Have a particular area or a section of the city where you can say, oh, these are tourists going on around there. So Ogun actually can make a lot of money, but they need to organize the system. It's a business.
It is. Okay,
it's a business. So it's not something you just leave for every other person. You have to organize it. Okay, so lost so much prospects for me, so much. And of course,
wow, that was quite the adventure for you. You toured Ondo State and Ogun State and came back to Lagos State.
Must do.
Yeah.
We try to find time to move. We're too stuck in one place.
Yes.
And it's a lifestyle we need to change. Even though food can also improve in our transportation, for instance. Okay, and make sure. For instance, I don't see a reason why the rails, of course, connect Abeokuta and all those things. It's a tourism product that they've not done. Okay, there are a lot of things we needed to do. Okay, say a week, for instance, a weekend in Abeokuta, NRC, and say, oh, we are doing a weekend in Abeokuta on Friday, and we'll bring you back, on Sunday. And everybody knows about that. You engage media, engage us here. We drive it, and they make money, because now the government, even with the new tax law now, everything is taken as a money-generating organization. It's taken away from you. Okay, so, so if we want to make money from this area, then we need to be intentional about developing our products.
Indeed.
And this is what I have.
Wow. We could spend the whole of the show talking about these things, but we have to move on. But many thanks for enlightening us and opening our eyes, really. And I hope that relevant agencies are listening to this show this morning, because Nigeria's money in Nigeria. We're now in the habit of taking our money out of the country and spending them.
Stay in your home and get it done. Yeah. Okay, all these visa regimes that just telling them that in Saudi Arabia they asked him to go back home. Nobody have interrogated that. They just took it as, hey, what's my business? Okay, I go to America, they give me 3 months. That's enough. We need their money, particularly the black Americans that want to come back to Nigeria. This is our opportunity to come in, and we welcome you. And that's how we can turn this around.
Indeed.
Okay?
Yeah.
So we turn it upside down. Those things are just...
to take advantage of some of the...
No, it's not just because I say the best place on earth.
To that. So grateful that we were able to have this conversation. The confines of Lagos State, and just experience Nigeria, in another form. I was in Oyo State over the comeback. It will be time to engage our special guest on the show. Stay with us. Please do not touch your dial.
National Council for Arts and Culture, NCAC. Here we discover, nurture, and promote the creative economy through our diverse cultures, festivals, culinary offerings, dance, fashion, sculpture, and indigenous Afro music. And wait for this. NCAC produces Nigeria's biggest cultural festival, the National Festival of Arts and Culture, NAFEST. Our unique 600+ indigenous tongues telling our history and traditions. INAC, our International Arts and Crafts Expo, brings the world to our doorsteps and holds annually in Abuja. Reach us through our social media handles on Instagram and X at NCAC_Nigeria, or visit us at Nigeria Culture House, 103 Abdulmumini Gadu District, Abuja. NCAC, proudly Nigeria.
Thank you for staying tuned. It's still Creative Nigeria. And right now, I'm going to be engaging Mr. Ayo Ogunbiyi on our Villa Square segment. So what is that thing that is happening?
FMC you can get out of this. Yeah, we are here to talk about Engage Trade Africa, happening in the last week of October.
Yeah.
Brings together top businesses, buyers, and government players to focus that we are looking at pharmaceuticals and wellness and manufacturing, but from all over the world. It's just Durban is just like a convergence center for this to happen, and manufacturers to also showcase their products, to others who are going to be there, so that you can now be global, not just you having a small sect in your little corner. That small industry can become big. You interface with others, and the beauty of it is buyers. We have people who probably want to showcase their product, and we have instance government will come, and when they sponsor, they showcase what the state or the country has to offer, either in terms of something that it's really big. It's even more than the way I'm even just projecting it. I represent a Catalyze of South Africa. I'm the event consultant for Nigeria, and October. And we are also looking at, people will say the visa issues that is being sorted out for everyone.
Okay, can I ask very quickly, why Durban?
Well, that's I think that's the home of the organizers.
Okay, it's the home.
So I think the second or the third edition.
Okay, and how
getting this much attention in Nigeria? It's the first time. There have been other events. The last year's own, we didn't have much representation.
Okay.
This time around, they are giving us a no holds barred for Nigeria to participate in full.
Okay, so I'm happy to hear that visa issues are being sorted out, because there was a time, I think on this show we did have that conversation as well, where we had during the intro, I'm sure you heard me say that it's getting better.
Yes, and I think most of the time the problem about visas is when people do not hoping that as people come in from August, we start putting in the application.
So I know it's happening in October, but when exactly in October?
27th to 30th, actually.
27th October till that your visa is out. You don't have that bottleneck of trying to get your visa out before you are able to travel for the trade time. We're going to keep talking about it as here on air, to just sensitize people about it, because if you just talk about it today and leave it to people, they'll probably forget about it. So we're going to keep talking about this. And then how can you be reached?
3240752.
Okay.
And my Instagram page is Explore the World with.
If you want to find them on social media, just go straight, type in Explore the World with Tyndall. Tyndall is spelled Tindel.
Yes.
So it's been a pleasure having
looking into this as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Government agencies, multinationals, even there, to showcase their products, and even SMEs. If you are in doubt as to
080-2324-0755 you on that, and as you make your inquiries.
Thank
Right.
you so very much.
Ooh, you are the best. The very, very best. You make our world go round. This is why we'll always be your anchor.
At Anchor Insurance, we will always turn up for our clients when it really matters. We put in 100% because they mean the world to us. If you desire insurance services built around you, where claims are paid promptly, then come to Anchor Insurance.
You are the best. You are the very, very best. Oh, yeah. You make our world go round. And this is why we'll always be our anchor.
Anchor Insurance, where insurance truly works.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. So we cannot have Creative Nigeria talking about creatives without looking out for your best interest, teaching us more about copyright laws, all you need to know.
Good morning, viewers and listeners. On our nuggets on intellectual property and copyright for creatives today, cover intellectual property assets of your enterprise. In the last episode of this segment, you may know that they have created some intangible assets that is valuable, but they do not know the protection is required for it. An IP expert has its own distinct reason. All intellectual property rights fall into two broad categories: registrable rights and non-registrable rights. The registrable IP rights are those which you can only obtain through formal registration without any legal repercussion. In this category, we have such intellectual property rights as business names, trademarks, industrial designs for products, and patents for inventions. If you do not register any of these in the relevant establishment, you cannot boast of having any intellectual property rights over them. Under the non-registrable IP rights, we have copyright, which protects creative works such as books, music programs, and performances of actors, dancers, mimers, choreographers, and such other artistic persons. Another confidential information that provides a competitive edge to a business, such as formulas and recipes or even customer lists and databases, which comprises of valuable collections of customer information like their buying habits or preference by owners to do anything. For instance, once you write a manuscript of a book, it is automatically protected under copyright. It is the same with composition of a song or painting of an art piece. All these do not require any form of formality to advantage. For instance, in the United States of America, registration of a copyright work entitles the beneficiary to be able to maintain a court action for infringement of his rights and to also of the copyright over that work. In Nigeria, copyright protection is automatic upon creation of a work, but the law makes provision for voluntary registration of a work for purposes of establishing a public database of copyright works. The provisions of the Copyright Act 2022, which is the governing law, confers some benefits which are contained in the Register of Works. In other words, all the facts relating to the residents to establish such facts. Some countries also maintain what is called recordation systems, which enables owners of copyright works to register any subsequent dealings with their works, such as assignments of the rights or even outright transfer of the rights. In most cases, such systems operate on a voluntary basis. In the case of trade secrets, even though registration has to weigh the option of either leaving the information as trade secret, which do not require registration, while being steps to register the confidential information under any of the other categories of protection of IP, like patents, which will now afford him a fixed term of protection of registering intellectual processes and industrial designs registration. Make it an appointment with us for the next edition.
Very, very many thanks to Barrister Mike Akpan. He is a segment specialist on copyright laws, and I must say that was detailed, and I learned things that he was able to put forward.
I was going to ask Mike last week or last 2 weeks when I was there. Okay, and of course we're also the advent of AI today and all those. But truly, like you said, I learned a lot. In fact, even what we're doing, we have to run down to get it properly. So it's something that people need to listen, particularly in the creative world. Right? There's a lot. You see artists in Nigeria, it's nice, so that you can protect your intellectual property.
Indeed, very important segment. Looking for how best you can be protected. So many thanks to Mike Bukola Omotesho.
Thanks for joining us in today's segment of Inside Lagos. Inside Lagos, presented by your regular host, Omotesho Olubukola. Today, I'll be talking about how you can recreate and do a lot of things that are advantageous to you and the environment. Beaches are landforms along the coast of an ocean, sea, lake, or river. It is characterized by 1. sandy edge, the area where the land meets the water. Then number 3, it is characterized by recreational leisure activities, even playing football. 1, sandy beaches featuring it can be pebbly beaches covered with small stones or pebbles. There are some beaches that are even for various purposes, including recreation. It provides space for relaxation and leisure. People visit the beaches for a lot of things, especially during the holidays. And the children holiday is coming very soon. I want you to go there, enjoy yourself. Just be careful with the beach. Obey all the rules and regulations. If they say you cannot swim that day, you must not go and swim. Recreational activities at the beach is very, very important. You know, children can go on excursion. They can do a lot of things at the beach. And like I said, we just have to be careful when we visit the. Yes, a lot of things lives in the ocean. A lot of things lives at the sea. A lot of animals then pop up from the ocean or from the sea, and then you will be very, happy or joyous seeing them. It's also against storms and erosion, and that is why it is not good to go to the beach to start excavating the dynamic environment shaped by natural forces like waves, tides, and wind. Our recreational activities, it is very, very good, very, very good. So I'll be signing out now. This is your one and only host, Tᴏᴜᴛᴛᴇ Inside Out.
Many thanks, Madam Bukola Omotesho from Sahem's Travels.
Do you know? Deliberately help you plan your travel itinerary for business, education, vacation, health, tourism, and logistics. That's not all. At Sahem's Travels, we provide opportunities for study abroad experience with visa assistance and other advisory services on foreign education requirements unparalleled anywhere.
Do you want premium travel experience? We are big on charter flights.
If you truly desire to enjoy your trip as a lifestyle, then call us or visit us at Sahem's Travels, number 8, Gashua Close, Area 8, Garki, Abuja,
or
our Lagos area office at the Excellence Place,
90803030, or Abuja 0908058.com. Sahem's Travels, bridging horizons through travel.
Welcome back. You are still tuned in to Mainline 98.3 FM, and this is still Creative Nigeria. So I'll be telling you about situation is forecasted for today. The daytime temperature will peak at a 128 degrees Celsius, slightly differing from the night's low, of a moderately hot 24 degrees Celsius. The sunrise was at 6:36 this morning, and if you want to see the pretty sunset, look out by 7:07 in the evening. Daylight will last a total of 12 hours 31 minutes. In Abuja, scattered thunderstorms are expected, and there may be periods of intense rain and thunder. Minimal precipitation is forecasted. A temperature range of a moderately hot 28 degrees Celsius to a pleasant 22 degrees Celsius is predicted. Sunrise was at 6:16 in the morning, and sunset will be at 6:55 in the evening. Daylight will last a total of 12 hours 40 minutes. This is the weather report from the Weather Channel, the Weather Atlas, brought to you by Creative Nigeria and put together by Oluebube. And for the month of July, NIMET has also issued flood warning that covered 20 states, including some parts in Lagos, Sokoto, and this flood warning covered over almost 200. Almost 200 is being recognized as the high-risk areas. So what is advisable for you to do is to have emergency kits and always try to stay informed and updated on the weather reports.
Also, hospitality, music, movies, brown water economy, insurance news and sports tourism with Sahem's Travels, edited by Frank Meke. Enugu State joined Akwa Ibom and Cross River States as key drivers of domestic air transportation investors as it unveiled a fleet of 3 Embraer E170 and 190 series aircrafts for the inauguration of flights to and out of Enugu. The State Commissioner for Transportation, Dr. Obiozor, says the airline will establish a golden triangle with Akanu Ibiam International Airport as a hub from where flights will connect to Lagos, Kiamo. Nigeria Data Protection Commission has slammed over 700 million naira against MultiChoice Nigeria for a breach against Nigeria protection of citizens' personal data. Meanwhile, the promising to initiate new marketing and promotion strategy for Ondo State tourism. Mrs. Bolaji Mustafa, president of NATOP, who spoke at the opening of the 3-day confab with a theme on unlocking Nigeria's ecological tourism treasures, assured the Ondo State government that the association would do all in its power resources to open the rural communities, create jobs, and lure tourists into the state. And still to his economic growth plans to make life more meaningful to the citizens of the state and to help provide wider social economic opportunities for the state. He appreciated the Mustafa-led association for being Nigerian tourism-centric, promising that the state will fully collaborate with NATOP in its domestic tourism promotion and marketing agenda. Nigerian Postal Service says it will henceforth keep a watch on activities of notorious and illegal courier companies, noting that any operator found aiding and abetting the trafficking of illicit drugs through the Nigerian logistics ecosystem of Ogun State in waste management, noting that its blue box and plastic for cash strategies are better than Lagos, which encourages recycling and the creation of income-generating opportunities through plastic to wealth scheme, as novel flash floods across Nigeria has sent fears down the residents of lowland areas and littoral communities across the country. In Katsina area to flee from the rage of the flood. Benue, Edo, Bayelsa water from Cameroon Lagdo Dam. Well, that's the size of our news this morning. Attention to the flood warnings. Please, let's take this as seriously as possible. We see what weather reports are there for our guidance. It's just there for us to be prepared, in case of any eventuality. It takes away the heat. But when it does that, we move on now to our new segment. Our music segment. I already gave us a heads up about, what the music is about. But I'll just remind us.
I just said it. No man lives alone. And that's why we're warning everybody now to be careful. But again, let me just chip in there. My sister, I go to the supermarket, either I change it for
and you get money back.
And I get money back. So I think that's the best we should do. Instead of this bam. Let's be creative in doing some of this.
I tell you
that people will. In fact,
they'll
be very clean.
Yes.
Particularly in Lagos, it'll be very clean. Once you drop it, you go and sell it, or take it there and they can go over
it. Yes, so and until we see you again next week, we want to say from all of us in the studio, goodbye and God bless. Meanwhile,
hello agapata nyine o nihi na nani magebi cha ashimana